All right, we're going to talk about calendars and integration. So when your team comes in, they need to link their Google Calendars to the system. So they'll have to integrate it, just like everybody will. So you go to settings, and in the settings section, you're going to go down here to integrations. And then it's really simple. You just hit sign in with Google. It'll pop up, tell what you want to connect it to, and then sign in. And then you can do your AdWords, you can do an advertising, Google My Business, Facebook, Instagram, QuickBooks. You can integrate all these items, Slack, to your system. If you use Facebook and TikTok and you do advertising with them, you can map the fields so that people can be automatically dropped into the system if you're using Facebook and TikTok forms. Now, the calendar settings, depending on what you're doing, if you are operating off of our pre-built stuff as an in-home service provider, we've got basic calendars set up for you in the back, and you'll look and see groups. You'll want to make sure the calendar's in groups for the certain triggers that you want if you're an estimator or you're booking your first appointment with the client. Could be a demo, could be any number of things, but the groups part is what all the triggers and notifications to the client are linked to. Okay. Now, if you have a group of people and you're dividing them among each other, you'll want to do it in a round robin. If it's specifically for one person, then you'll do it for an event. So you'll just create new calendar. You'll select, depending on what type of calendar you want, round robin or simple event. Okay. And select it. Okay. And then you're going to fill out the calendar name. You'll give it a URL information, duration of the meeting, the days you want it to work. Now, this is the secondary calendar. Everything runs off the calendar in the My Staff section. That is your top level calendar. So whatever you put in here does not supersede what you put in your My Staff section. Enter location. You can add a payment process, and then you hit confirm. When you do that, it's gonna pop up to this, and so you can enter a description. Here's the availability, and you can look at duration, scheduling notice, date range. So what this is meeting interval, time between meetings, the duration of meetings, and then the minimum scheduling. So obviously I'm one person, I can only do one appointment, but maybe I can do a group of two people. It's a Zoom, so you can do two. If it is just one to one, then you just do one to one. Date range, so I only allow people to book 21 days out. No sooner, no further out than 21 days. Somebody can't book me 6 weeks. Um, Minimum bookings per day, if you want to, just the number you can have as a minimum, and then minimum bookings per slot. And then a buffer time, which is the time between the two appointments. If you're wanting to do any forms to it, like making them fill certain things out, we would do that here. And then it also has payment information that they'll get, the thank you, and that kind of stuff. This is who gets acknowledgement, the contact, and you can send emails, or you can allow Google to do it by checking these boxes. And then connection, what calendar you want to sync it to. So once you sync it to that calendar, then you have to choose, do you want a smart sync, two-way sync, or a one-way sync? So this is very important. One-way sync means no matter what, it'll get on this calendar and we're going to push it to your Google Calendar. Two-way sync means that it will, if you create something on Google Calendar, it'll automatically put on your calendar and create a contact. So if you put a lot of stuff on your Google Calendar, that can get very confusing. Smart Sync, which I like the best, it looks to see if that particular event is in your invites, is in your contacts. If those three things match up, then it will put it in your system and match it up. So everything you do for us should be a smart sync if you're going to be using the Google Calendar. This way it's checking for conflicts, and also if something gets put on Google Calendar, it'll also get put on here in the needed spots. And then you got your customization, how you want the widget to look. You can insert codes there. Don't worry about that. And then if you want to allow them to reschedule, you leave this check. Allow your client to cancel, you leave that check. And then this is the information that'll be emailed to you and to them. So that's how it looks on a event style calendar. Now the round robin is going to be slightly different in the back end. So let's go to your round robin, edit that guy. And then you may have to activate or deactivate a calendar depending on what you're doing. You can copy a calendar if it's going to be the same for everybody. So we'll go to edit. You put a logo in there and name it. Everything else the same, but this is where you get the big difference. Is if you want to add somebody to the calendar, you just boom, click their name. Now it adds them right here, and now they're on that calendar. Okay, and you can prioritize high, level, low. You can have a custom. We want the address there, the phone number. It's going to be a Google Map, a Zoom call, that stuff. And then your rest is kind of the same. The availability is all the same. Payments and everything else the same. Your biggest gap difference is going to be right there, how you add your other people. And then I did leave this out, optimizing for availability or optimizing for equal distribution. So availability is based on, it's going to look to see who's got the best calendar and then offer that to the particular client. If you go to optimize for equal distribution, it's going to optimize so that each person gets roughly the same amount no matter what their availability is. So somebody might have to wait a little bit longer for that particular appointment. So that is your calendar setup in the back end. And let's say you create a calendar and you need to add it to the groups instead of that. So you just move to group and you can select the group you want to time it to, or you can unassign it from groups. So that kind of helps you run that. We run two groups right now for in-home services: estimators, so the guys who go out and go to the estimate, and then production for guys who produce. You can create your own groups and stuff if you want to group calendars together, and we can help you through that process.